This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
Yeah, last week, once we found out the game was going to be postponed, it allowed us the opportunity to get some guys healthy that had little nicks and bruises. Also allowed us to really focus on the fundamentals, our tackling, addressing some, I would say, technical issues that we felt like we needed to improve on as we approach really the next 10 games. And we was real excited about our young men's mindset because, of course, you're used to playing in a game. And then once we got it announced, sometimes some young men can go through the motions. I never felt like that Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday's practice. It was business as usual. And so I think once we got back Sunday, you can tell, of course, the energy that was in the atmosphere just because of the great opportunity that we have this week. And as you look at North Texas, I think we all know we have a very talented team coming in. Was real impressed with the film that I've seen thus far this year with the 3 games. Also going back watching last year's film. It all starts with the quarterback, Mason Fine, a very talented young man. He does a great job throwing the football and a great job managing the offense. They got some very talented running backs. You can list 4 of them that run really hard. The receiving core is really good. When you talk about Bussey, you talk about Darden, you talk about Lawrence, and then you talk about Guyton. So they're a very talented team. They returned 4 offensive linemen. They returned 2 tight ends. So you can see the growth and the maturity in Coach Seth Luttrell's 3rd year in the program. They play with a lot of confidence. So I'm really excited about our opportunity this Saturday.
Certainly, I would think getting pressure on him is going to be part of the game plan, but it's easier said than done with his quick release and all that. How much is that going to dictate whether or not your team has success, the ability to get pressure on Mason Fine?
Well, when you really watch teams that have tried to get pressure on him, as you stated, if he knows that it's coming, the ball is coming out. So it's going to really dictate on our ability to be able to disguise some things as we, of course, you got to have some pressure in the game plan to try to disrupt him. But he does an excellent job in reading coverages. If he knows that, the corner is going to play soft, or he knows the safety is going to cheat to the field, you can see he has up in his mind that he's going to get that ball out. And so it's going to really boil down to us being able to hold some looks and being able to, call pressure at the right time.
Give me a comparison for Mason Fine, either a quarterback you've gone against over the years or just somebody, college quarterback over the years. Who does he compare to favorably when you watch the film?
Wow, that's a good question. I would say so far, FBS-wise, since I've been here, to get that release that he has in a game atmosphere, I really can't think of somebody right now. I'll be honest with you. He gets that ball out quick. He does a real exceptional job, like I said, of just seeing coverages and knowing where he's going with that football. And especially with the RPO offense that they run, he's not a 5-step, 6-step, or 7-step drop back guy. He's getting that ball out. So I can't think of someone right now.
North Texas doesn't have the running numbers through 3 games this year, but they've supplemented a lot of that running game with some quick, short passes that they've been able to break for big gains. What are you seeing in film, and what are you going to tell your players about being sure with tackle, being able to read what they do so that way you can limit those plays to only a few yards at a time?
Well, their running backs are really good. I've been real impressed with what I've seen in their run game. I just believe, when you're RPO driven, a lot of times it's the count that dictates if you're going to hand the ball off or are you going to throw the ball. With the screen game that they do, it really going to boil down to, as you stated, our eye discipline, and it really is going to boil down to tackling. We got to do a very good job of being able to tackle in space. We get that accomplished, it's going to be a fun night.
Coach Gill said that this North Texas offense is probably the best you all will play this year. Also said this team's probably the best team ever coming to Williams Stadium. Does a game like this just kind of add extra juice to your players, coaching staff? You mentioned Sunday that you just felt extra enthusiasm in the environment. Is that something that you're seeing out of the guys so far?
Yes, because this is what you dream for. You dream for an opportunity for a lot of these young men to play at the highest level, not only play at the highest level, but have a home game that has so much meaning, especially early in the season. When you have a great opponent coming in like North Texas, you realize what the opportunity it brings. So I think it definitely amps up your focus. You really realize that the details and paying attention to what is being taught to you, you have to step it up. And so we've had a lot of young men that you can see are looking at it as an opportunity to represent Liberty Nation.
You have on cornerback opposite Jeremy Pierce, you have it listed as or Malik Matthews or Beijor Wilson. What do you want to see out of practice this week to figure out who you're going to start and maybe give more of the reps to?
Well, thus far they've both been doing a great job. So it's really just going to boil down to, Coach Roberts, myself, Coach Gill, sitting down and making a decision probably Friday on, who consistently is having a good week. I can tell you both of them are putting in the work, studying the film. So it's really probably going to boil down to our gut feeling as we approach Friday.
Looking at North Texas, obviously this passing offense is, the biggest challenge you face, obviously, through the first 3 games. How confident are you in your secondary and some of those young faces you got? Not necessarily young faces, but also JUCO transfers.
Well, we're going to find out Saturday. I'm really excited because, we have a group of young men that are really hungry. That's really listening to what we're trying to implement. They're trusting what we're saying. One thing you can't mimic is the speed of it. But I feel very good with our young men's focus and how they've gone about their business, even during the bye week. A lot of times, like I said, in the bye week, when they're just looking at Saturday because it's a day off, we had a lot of young men asking good questions, wanting to watch film because they understand that, we do have to have a very big game. We have to keep the ball in front on Saturday for our defense to have a good opportunity for success.
With Vincent Elefante suspended for Saturday's game and Austin Lewis out for the first half, what are your plans for rotating that defensive line so you keep them fresh and maybe get some faces in there that haven't seen a lot of playing time?
It's next man up. That's the philosophy. I really don't dwell on who's going to be there, who's not going to be there, because you can't really call a game if you're trying to dictate it based on personnel. What we do is we sit down like we did last night and we put together a plan, and then I trust Coach Singletary to put the rotation that he feels is going to help us play our best on Saturday.
You kind of faced one extreme to another from going from Army now to North Texas. Do you feel like your defense and your scheme is better suited for a team that wants to pass it more as opposed to a team like Army that, all they want to do is run the football?
Well, we face RPOs with our offense. Coach Daly does a great job. So I definitely think it's a lot more, we're more familiar with it. And I think our young men, as they watch film, they're able to dissect a lot easier based on film with confidence what they most likely will have a chance to see on Saturday. So that's definitely a little bit more comforting. I just think it's going to boil down to our ability to slow down Mason Fine. And so far, that's been a tough task this year.
Was it a little different in the preparation, being able to I guess, be at home, I'm guessing, on Saturday and watch the game as opposed to just film study and, the things that you normally do? Did you get anything different out of it, watching it that way?
Yeah, watching the home, definitely watching the game at home, it was probably a little different. You're still watching it as a coach. My wife, she wanted to make sure I watched that game too, because, like I said, we're excited. It's just a great opportunity, just seeing how our young men have responded. I'll be honest, it hasn't been like that a lot in the past as far as just attention to detail. Like I said, the bye week really encouraged me to see how much our guys was hungry and looking at the big picture and not just we got a time off. And so I'm really excited to see what we'll be able to do this Saturday.
And also with Mason Fine, he was making some ridiculous throws out there this past Saturday against Arkansas's defense. He's going to make some plays. How do you overcome that, though, in the grand scheme of things, so that it's winning the whole war, so to speak, in the game.
Well, it kind of reminded me to 2013 when we played ODU. And the thought process was, hey, you're facing a very good quarterback, but what we got to do is keep the ball in the front, and we got to tackle. That's what it's going to boil down to, is making sure we make their offense earn the field and not give up a quick 60, 75-yard touchdown that not only changes the dynamics of the game, but just builds the confidence of North Texas. And so, that's a tall challenge. But like I said, I'm real excited because our young men are making the effort to put ourselves in the best position we can for Saturday's play.
Would you compare him to Taylor Heineke?
Well, you know what? Now that you bring that up, I would say Heineke was a very good quarterback. I would say the RPOs though make it a little more different because ODU you knew they were just pass happy, but North Texas does a great job with the RPO concepts. I mean they put tremendous stress on the defense when it comes to the box count, and like I said, their receivers are really good to where they understand angles. They understand if a outside linebacker or a nickel is outside leverage, they know how to bend that inside and adjust on the fly. And that's really impressive. And like I said, that's a credit to their coaching staff to teach them how to even read the leverage and how to adjust their routes to make sure that the ball is available to them.
Little switch to start the Army game to 4-3 to 3-4. Aaron Pierre had a very good game. What did you see from him? And having Brandon Tillman back in the depth chart, how does he affect your defense?
No, I'm real excited. As I stated before, we have talent. We have a lot of young men that I really believe in the next couple of years, a lot of people are going to be like, wow. Coach Wimberly talked about that young man, and look at him. He's making a lot of plays for Liberty University. And Aaron Pierre is just another example of the talent that we have that may not have as much opportunity right now, but you're going to see it on the horizon. And for him to play the way that he played under those lights in his first start was really impressive. And he has something to him. That's why he's a 14 special team starter. He plays quite a bit. And he's slowly going to, I think you're going to see his name a lot more as the season goes on. Brandon Tillman, having him back, we all know is going to definitely be exciting just to see the way he practiced last week, the way he practiced on Sunday. I tell Coach Bookbinder all the time, you watch film and he makes it look so easy. All the adjustments, he plays both Mike and Will Backer at a high level. He understands the whole defense. I tell Bookbinder I take credit for that because he started off with me. But he's definitely a young man that brings some good depth to our defense.
The one-on-one matchups for your secondary, how important is that this week, and how much are you working on that?
That's what me and Coach Roberts been talking about. We understand that it's going to really boil down to our ability to slow down the receiving game. At the end of the day, like you said, one-on-ones, matchups, can our young men handle being able to compete for the ball and not have poor eye discipline on the slanting up, on the hitch and go. And we put ourselves in good position. We do that. Like I said, we're going to have a good night on Saturday, and that's a tall task. But like I said, thus far, I've been real excited about the mindset of our young men.
Any further? One last question.
Coach, when you play a high-powered offense like this, does it help to have a few extra days to prepare? Do you feel like you got a lot accomplished in those few extra days to prepare for North Texas?
Oh, no doubt. When you get the opportunity to just keep watching film, and being able to dissect. Normally when you're preparing for one opponent, you really got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. With the game being canceled and postponed, it allowed us to gain 3-4 extra days. And so, the opportunity to watch a lot of film, you're able to probably dissect some things that you may not have caught within that 3 to 4 day time frame. So it's definitely, made me feel very confident with what we're trying to teach our young men this week, game plan wise, and really let them know that we're really dissecting North Texas the best that we can. But as you know, guys, this is a very powerful offense coming in here, but I'm really excited about our opportunity.